Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolve Skyblock Expert Mode. Yep, I made it to the Bedrock Dimension. So, the key was I had put the block of bedrock in the wrong spot. I guess there's a unwritten rule that the bedrock has to be at normal bedrock level down at Y3 or so, where you'd normally find bedrock in the overworld. So if you try putting bedrock up at where I was, which was about, I think 100 or somewhere in the 80s, I guess, wherever I had my bedrock, it was not in the typical location. And so as a result, I was able to make it here to the Bedrock Dimension, and I proceeded to pound the heck out of everything. So there are 3 modes here to the Ichorium Pickaxe. So there's block mode, which can remove 1 block at a time like this. There is square mode, which removes things in a 5x5 area surrounding the block that you hit. So here we go. So that works out pretty good for clearing large expanses of land, but there's also a bug that sometimes when you click it only does 1. So I'm just going through and just pounding out the walls here, trying to find some ore veins. So it turns out that almost every material ore is whitelisted here in Infinity Evolve Skyblock. I guess it was just difficult enough to get to this dimension. They didn't feel like nerfing it any more than they did. Now, iridium ore is not a type of block that spawns here. It's not your traditional ore. Only ore blocks spawn here, not that iridium ore, which is more of an item type of ore. So what I ended up doing then was just exploring around, sort of like this, just chopping the walls until I eventually got to some material. So let's clear all this out and make our way back to the main corridor. And so you can see here in the ceiling, there's a couple of discoveries. I have some copper. I have this is my main corridor. Here's some saltpeter, and then over here I think I have, which is really interesting, air-infused stone. So just breaking this, if I put myself back here, yeah, this is shard-infused stone. So this vein runs from the bottom here at about I think it's Y5 or so. If I go under the world, you can see that there's not much here. And it goes all the way to the top. Any kind of ore veins go all the way up to about 250. And so the very top and the very bottom are still bedrock, so you can't cheat your way through and just find veins on the fly. So you just have to dig and dig and dig. But the Ender Quarry has the ability to ignore the bedrock and extract the minerals. However, I don't have a lot of power right now in my base. Amber, tin. I actually have all these materials. I'm not wanting for anything except for iridium, and so that's one thing I just can't get. So here is the entire dimension is just bedrock. So most people will then carve out a corridor, lay out some an ender quarry with some ender markers, and I'm just not sure that if that's what I want to do. So back here in the overworld, let's move down to the bottom. So what I ended up doing here was crafting the gate I moved the bedrock down here to the bottom and right-clicked it with the axe. And so what I'd like to do is move this gate back up to the top. So I should just be able to right-click. Yep, and that will, if I head back to interfaces, that'll put it over here next to my existing portals. So I can just run into that block and it'll transport me yet again. Now, I also spent quite a bit crafting in between episodes, so that way I could get the Ichorcloth Strapped Silverwood Wand core. So this one took quite a while to manufacture, mostly because it requires 100 precontatio. It just took a lot of aspects. The form itself is not that well. Ichorcloth and Ichor is complicated, but I am one step closer to the guilty pool, which at this point is going to require a Ichorium adorned Ichorcloth strapped Silverwood Wand. So Silverwood Wand goes in the middle. I need 2 Ichorium caps, which are basically made from charged thaumium caps, which come from inner thaumium caps, which are just going to be this U shape of thaumium. So let's see if I can get that started. So let's whip up some thaumium. Bada bing. 1, 2. And then we'll need some Salus Mundus. I'll need 6 of this. So let's head down and load this up. There we go. And I'll need to do this twice to activate. Alright, I took care of the charged thaumium caps. So at this point, let's check out back to the Ichorium cap. And so I think this wand should manage. So Ichor. Okay, so let's put this in the inventory and give this a shot. There we go. 2 Ichorium caps. Excellent. So this wand's going to take quite a while to recharge. So let's take a look back at the guilty recipe while that charges. The guilty pool. So Ichorium, Ichorcloth. Yeah, this is going to take another 100 of everything. So let's pop in, make sure that I've got that before I start. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. Got it. All right, let's pull it out. Excellent. Ichorium endured, Ichorcloth strapped Silverwood Wand. Shoo! Ridiculous. Alright, I'm back, and I'm having a little power problem in the base. So the energy storage is back down to 600 million. I was actually running out for a bit. Then I manufactured a couple more solar power, solar panels in order to produce RF to keep filling this. And what I'm thinking of doing is I want to upgrade now to the next tier of big reactors, which is the Big Reactor Turbine. So let's head down here and check out some of the formulas I've been prepping. So the turbine is actually a steam-based resource that's going to feed, well, it's going to need a steam feed, and so the best place for that is actually to take the existing big reactor RF turbine or RF producing generator and convert it into an active mode, which actually takes a water feed and converts it into steam. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the pattern that I made in the Sky Factory 2 series that I did, where basically I'm going to go full out optimum design. So I'm going to follow one of the guides that I found for making a efficient energy per size. Basically the least number of blocks that I have to create in order to create the highest number of RF power. And so with that, I'm going to make it a 5 block diameter, 27 block long big reactor. So I'm going to need to make at least a couple of all these parts. So I'm going to need again a controller to control the turbine speed. I'm going to need power port to extract. And then what's different is now I'm going to need some fluid ports. Okay, so I'm going to have to add two reactor fluid ports, one for steam out, one for water in, and then a matching steam in and water out on the turbine. And so I'm going to need this rotor bearing. That's going to basically be the center axle. I'm going to need a computer. Well, I'm not going to need the computer port, but I'm definitely going to need this rotor shaft and the rotor blade. You can see that each one of these requires 2 iridium ingots, and I'm going to need quite a lot of material here. So my plan right now is I'm eventually going to need 80 turbine blades. I'm going to need 25 turbine rotor shafts. I'm going to need a rotor itself, which I'm going to make out of endurium, which I've already endurium. So basically endurium blocks. I'm going to need another 20 of these. So let's whip up Oh, I see the problem. So this is extracting out of here. Yeah, I'm going to need about another 100 more endurium. So let me get that started. Alright, what's the problem here? Let's try that again. Probably because of all the auto crafting going on. So I'm still running through here, making the last of the turbine pieces. So I think, yeah, I had an issue before here with the, where is it? Yep, it's jammed up. So it needs 16 more ender pearls in order to complete that. And so that'll produce the last of the turbine housing. So let's go back to the turbine pieces. So I've already made a lot of these. Turbine fluid port, I'm going to need a second one. Yes. There we go, okay. Let's see. 1 power port, 1 controller. Not sure. I think I'll convert a chunk of this to glass just to keep it pretty. Nope, okay. Actually, what's the issue here? Oh, okay, I don't have anything available right now. Yeah, this one's using this one's busy. Okay, so when I have time, when I have room, I'm gonna, you know what, why don't I just start another 64 block here. I can't because I'm out of room again. Alright, so I'll let those finish, and then I'll touch back and start converting some of that housing to glass. Now, another thing I'm doing is I'm actually prepping for to go back to the demon ritual again. I crafted up another set of bell jars, and I'm running through that process here, where I've been just doing the same thing I was doing last time. Clearing the calcinator, clearing the router, and say shift click, right click, right click. Okay, and so that's going to load up. I'm going to create the 8 reagents again, and the reason is that the demon invasion drops down buildings with chests that are pretty good probability being filled with iridium. So I see that as a shortcut around needing to manufacture it within the from UU matter. And unfortunately, I still have at least another stack of iridium to go, which is another 32 blocks actually, since it's 2 apiece. So at this point, I think I need 5 more rotor blades, and basically I just need to keep going. Actually, I need a lot. I need to like quadruple my rotor shafts and my rotor blades. Okay. Well, let's make another 10 of these and another 10 of these. Okay. So at this point, let me let these formulas finish, and then I'll start crafting the multi-block. Alright, I am finally ready to start crafting. So let's just make some reactor coolant ports, whip up 2 of these, and that's what I'm going to use to tap into the side of this reactor casing. And let's turn on the chunk loading chunk borders here. So now the way I'd done this before, I kind of aligned it up with the edge of this chunk. So I have a little bit of extra space. So I'm going to have to turn this guy off temporarily. In fact, just extremely temporarily. So let's figure out how I can position this. Let's put it right on the inside edge here. So 1, 2. Yeah, let's do here and here. Got it, and got it. Okay, so let's fill that in with the ports. Back to the multi-block and turn you back on. Okay, now we see we have 2 new channels here. One with steam outbound and one with water inbound. So I'm going to actually make a 3rd one here to kind of balance everything out. Now that I think of it, pretty easy to do. And let's put it right here. Got it. And back on. Okay, so there we go. Oh wait, we're in active mode. Deactivate reactor, activate reactor. We're not producing any steam. There we go. But we are working our way back up. Yes, with energy. Okay, so let me just verify that quick. Okay, looks like everything is working okay upstairs. It's just draining as fast as I can create it here. So let's start crafting. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is create a frame. So let's grab some of this housing here, and yeah, let's make sure I keep the magnet on just in case. And what I'm going to do is create a 5-block interior. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will work out pretty good for symmetry. Though maybe not. Now that I see it. Yeah, my reactor's not as tall as it is wide. Up, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the inside. I'll do 1 more down here. Okay. So this will be the core edge of the reactor, the reactor turbine. So let's put the 2. Actually, yes. So let's make sure we get this right. So one of these is going to be import, and one of these is going to be export. And so this is the outbound one. So let's make sure that I then match that up with the two fluid ports that are going into the turbine here. So this guy will be the import, and this guy will be the export. Okay, so exporting water, importing steam. Got it. So let's build this up then. Easy peasy. And I'm going to stretch this out 27. So let's start measuring. There we go, 27. So I should still be within the bounds of the chunk loaded. Oh, okay. I don't have to worry about that water column. All right, so this will be the edge of the big reactor, the turbine. So I'll fill in the floor because I don't feel like looking at the floor. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let me measure this out, and I'll cut right back. Okay, so I went back and reread the directions, and the outside frame is included in the width and height calculation. So I'm going to switch to using the middle optimum mode, which is a 7 by 7 by 17 length reactor. So let me get the next block, which is going to be the rotor bearing. So that's what all the rotors are going to be centered around. So let's grab a little bit more of these guys, get it all in my inventory. Okay, so the bearing is going to go in the opposite wall here, and it's going to face backwards. So let's fill in the turbine shaft, 4, 5, and lay that all the way the length of this channel here. So, bada bing. So the optimum number of blades, I have a little bit left over since I changed the design. The optimum number of blades here is going to be 80, so I'm a little behind on that. Let's see if any of this is caught up yet. Iridium, I got a couple more rolling in, so let's do blades 3. Good. So as those will go around, the first thing we need to do is whip up, well, the very first thing is to finish this. Okay, so let's fill in the bottom layer so I don't fall through. And what we'll want to do is start stacking the Enderium blocks around the shaft here at the backside near the bearing, and we see that that's changed color a little. So that is good. Okay, excellent. So let's do a couple more to use up the Enderium that I have. So I'll need to do about 2.5 more rows, I think. To the symmetry matter, I don't think so. I think it was just the raw number count. So let's do that. And at this point, I'm going to want to add the blades, but I'm going to put them out at a 2 length. But let's just fill in the central shaft first. Okay, good. Not bad for a start. So let's try to expand this. I'll basically need to double the amount of blades that I have, but for now, that's looking pretty good. So let's close in the sides, and yep, and then see if we're ready to turn this on. Alright, let's finish this puppy off. And how are we looking? Well, how about that? It looks like there's a limitation on the total reactor size. Yeah, so let me shift everything over by a block, and then I will check back. Alright, rotor blades must be placed closer to the rotor bearing than all other parts inside the turbine. So that's telling me that I have reversed the blades and the coil. So let me fix that. So I ended up swapping the bearing out of this side and just moving it over here. So let's finish this up. Bink, bink, bink. Alright, and there is the multi-block. Awesome. Phew. Alright, so engage coils, disengage. So at this point, I'm going to have to start loading it up with steam. So two things. Let's go and grab another tesseract, and let's put it over here on the energy port and hook that up to the RF generator channel. Done. So at this point, we should be ready to start pumping in water. So let's grab these guys and grab the, let's see, why don't I try a liquid transfer node this time. Let's grab some speed and probably make another batch of that just in case. Alright, so let's load in water into the reactor. So at this point, reactor coolant. Oh, okay. Is that? Yeah, that should be working. So let's grab that, holding 200 buckets. Maybe that is not the right port. Okay. All right. Well, that seemed to work. So I've loaded it up with water at this point. So let's try turning on the reactor over here. Okay. So I'm sucking in steam, getting 2,000 millibuckets per tick at this point. At this point, I'm going to have to give a balance then between the amount of water in the system, the amount of steam in the system. And let's take a look over here at the energy output. It's definitely spinning pretty well. So I'm producing, well, the optimum rotor speed is going to be about 1800. So this is going to take a while to charge up, and so the RF is going to build as I get closer to that optimum 1800 RPM. So let's monitor this and see how this is going to work. All right, I'm going to call this an episode. So it's been a pretty good run, a lot of experimenting here, and I think I got to a good point. Unfortunately, it looks like my lack of additional blades is reducing the max efficiency of the reactor. I'm going to need 24 more blades, and unfortunately, I am lacking in iridium. I'm going to need 48 more full pieces of iridium ore. So that's going to take a while for that to build up. In the meantime, this is up to 1400 RPM. So it's still ticking up. It's just at a much slower rate of speed. So it's going to take a while for that to build. And once I get back in the 1800 range, that's when I'm going to be at peak efficiencies. And with that, I'm calling it an episode, so if you could please leave a comment or a like, let me know how I'm doing, and I will see you next time in Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Skyblock Expert Mode. Bye!